Okay, the day today is just a little overcast and cool. Very contrast from the last several days. It's been hotter than hell here. But I wanted to show you what we're doing here to make the changes. So I'm going to give you kind of an idea of what we're going just as far as the gardening itself. So we're going to start with our herb garden. This is spearmint. This is got some peppers in here that we had left over. We got thyme, we got oregano, there's cilantro, and all kinds of parsley, whatever else is in here. I just trimmed these back. This is our chives bed. We're starting a new bed here for more herbs. In fact, we have a lady that's giving us some more plants that we need to go pick up today. We're delivering a food box for her. A disabled lady in a local town next door to us, about 7 miles away. So we're going to deliver that to her. Now, these are some pretty simple beds. You can tell by looking at these things, there's not a nail in there. Okay, it's just by stakes, using cinder block. Okay, and it holds it together that way. And we fill it in about half to 2/3 full of regular soil, and then we also mix the last third of it or so in with like manure or compost and topsoil that generally we get from like Walmart or someplace, and mix that soil up and layer it on the top so it has a good bed. We've cleared out a lot of this area here. I've cut down all this that used to be clear up to the top of the house there. These are rhododendron plants. Very floral, very beautiful, but they take up a lot of space. And we're kind of reducing that. Now, over on this side, we have our dill bed for dill pickles. And we've been using out it. Now, these construction of these boxes, like I said, is pretty basic, you know. But it's weed-free this way also, so it reduces all the time that it takes to have to weed. We're still working in this area here. This was all well overgrown. We've had to remove some different plants out. It had a lot of fire brick around different plants, and I think as a decorative thing. But I'm going to take all these, and we're going to be building a little fireplace over by our picnic area so we can cook outside more and that kind of stuff on a bigger fire. Here's some topsy-turvies that we got here that are tomatoes that are really just now coming on. We got some peppers in there. And this here's our cherry tomatoes, and they're loaded with cherry tomatoes down there. But they just haven't been ripening yet much, so but if not, we got fried green tomatoes. Comes some of our construction materials. The greenhouse you know about. We put this in the first part of the summer, but it's a little too small to do what we want to do. Most of these are pepper plants and of various kinds. We got this guy here that's doing a pretty good job of bringing on some peppers now. And that's our spearmint, or actually that's peppermint itself. Another tomato plant. These are all peppers. Now this is one kind of basil. It's a sweet basil. And another kind of basil. We've been clipping all these herbs like this and drying them like mad. But here are some of the major changes that we've done so far. Now all this was open area from when we first started. Dad hasn't used this garden area for a good many years, so we're starting all over. So we had to transfer things around a lot, do a lot of work. That's our compost pile, the way it sits right now. We're about ready to move it around a little bit to, we'll end up with 3 of these bins like that, with just cage bins, where you can roll over your one material to another one for turning over your compost, and as it breaks down you just roll it into the next cage and into the next cage. We haven't got the other 2 built yet because we are just now getting to the point where we got plenty of material in that one. We have put in all kinds of berries, different kinds. I got in this one here is Marion berries, and the arbor there, they're starting to climb up that. The canes you see there are raspberries. I started a grape arbor here. I got 3 different kinds of grapes here now. They're all 3 table grapes. But this arbor here will be completely covered and on all 3 sides. I've got to transfer some of these over to the far side, but that'll leave this area open here where you can actually go inside, sit down at a little table I got planned, and get out of the sun and eat grapes. Excuse me. Moving on. These are the new beds we just put in today. Still not quite done with them. We've got to fill up the rest of the boxes up to about 2/3, and then I take and mix my soil with, you know, like bags of compost or topsoil or potting soil with some chicken manure or whatever I've got for organic fertilizer. And this is some really good rich soil. Now you can see plant material in here, okay? That will break down. You'll see grass in there. Okay, that will break down. As long as it's warm out and you keep that stirred, or your main soil out in your garden stirred, your grass won't come back. It'll actually die off, dry out and die off. But that mixed in with your soil will enrich it a lot. I have some blueberry plants put in here, bushes. Something we don't normally see in the garden is these. These are wild blue huckleberries. I gotta trim them up. We put those in. The plum trees you've seen where I've trimmed all them out, opened them up so they get more air and light. I'm combating the fungus still, but it's really, they're really coming back now. We took out, I think there was like 4 or 5 trees on the end here that had developed disease too far for us to really save them. So, but we got starts. You can see the little shoots coming up from each of the stump areas there, and they will come back. Those are these little tiny grape size, maybe a little bit bigger, blue plums. And I got the wood stacked up over here for that, from that. We put in a fence. Put in, had 8-foot wood posts. Set them in the ground 3 foot. And we used a mesh wire. And right below that I tilled up a strip of ground that's about 2 widths of the tiller. And this will be where we can put like our next spring our cucumbers or any vine type plants. You know, they'll use this and grow vertical using the fence, you know, as a like a trellis. This goes all the way down to the end of the property there. Now we got most of the squash we pulled out plants, except for the yellow straight neck and some gourd, large gourd type zucchinis there. This box area we had the peas and green beans in, so we pulled all the plants up off of that, and I tilled it up, and it's looking really good, the soil. Got most of our purple cabbage out of the ground. As we go along, as I go along here and I pull stuff off or harvest it and clear an area, I will go ahead and immediately almost till that up and mix all the plant material like that you see there and leaves and whatnot. I'll just till those right into the soil and they will break down, and it's the natural compost. Put nitrogen back into the soil. But I got some Brussels sprouts still coming on here. Down at the far end there, it's still got some green cabbage and some tomatoes. The last little bit of carrots on this was our second batch of carrots for the year. We got dig those up here in just a little bit. I got some people showing up for too long to pick up some vegetables today. But you can see the amount of time, and it's not easy. It takes work, but the payoff is great, because you'll have a full pantry of just about all kinds of food. Your imagination is your limit. Some beets. I'm still pulling out the last of the potatoes here. Got about a half a wheelbarrow load off of these this morning. And back over to the other side here, where the fence is put in 3 plum trees of the larger plum. They're also the blue plum. They get pretty good size. They're the size actually you use for making prunes or anything like that. They're pretty good size plum. Here's our squash garden in here. We got some peppers, plants that are out here also. Green. The first 2 are green peppers. Some are jalapenos. I got one clear at the end there that's a habanero. It's just starting to put on some peppers. These are zucchini combination and crookneck. There's Hubbard squash in here. There's acorn squash. And I'll show you some of those little acorns. These will get about twice as big as they are now. They'll turn a dark green, but they're coming on pretty good now. Love a good winter squash. That orange meat. There's one that's getting pretty good size. He'll be coming off there before too long. Most of the zucchini and yellow straight neck I pulled out of here yesterday, so we had stuff to give away for today. But this is our main squash area, and this is our pumpkin patch over here. I only had two pumpkin plants, but we're getting some pumpkins on there. Make the grandkids happy. They like to make jack-o'-lanterns and whatnot. And we still have our sunflowers They're just getting ready to start blooming there. You can see the head on one up there. And those seeds are really good. You can take them when they're ready and soak them in salt water. Then take them out and sprinkle them with whatever kind of, if you like garlic or chili powder or whatever, that, you can buy them in the store that way in different flavors. Then dry them in your oven or just dry them out in the sun. And they're really good for chewing on or making trail mixes or whatever. Now this area here is the open area at the end where we're going to put that other greenhouse in. It'll be about twice the length and another couple feet taller. But as you can see, it's got plant material that I weed out, grass, various kinds of weeds and stuff, and we just come along here every so often, and make sure you, when you plant these things, if you can, get a tiller in that you don't plant too close together on your plants, so you can run your tiller between the rows or between the plants to keep that soil loose. Keep it tilled up, and it'll kill out the grass or any kind of weeds. You gotta stay on it for, like, this is our first year breaking ground here. So it's going to take all of this first year just to be able to have this whole area weed free. You just got to keep on it. I've probably tilled this garden, I'm going to say at least 10 times. Easy. We started out with a complete lawn here. And cucumbers, they're putting on some pickles now, or little pickling cukes now. I got trees we put in. One's turning color already for fall, but what we got down here is I put in a couple of hazelnut trees, so we have nuts for mixing with breads or whatever you want to do. I like just roasting them and eating them. But that's a hazelnut tree. This is a hazelnut tree. Here's a peach tree. And these down this way are these semi-dwarf little apple trees. And down the first part of the summer, they got a blackleaf blight, just as they were really blooming good. And so I had to battle them most of the summer, but they're coming back real good now. Put new foliage on. These are Jonathan apples. One's a Red Delicious, and the other's a Gala apple. So all this grass that's mixed in with these potatoes right now, you can kill that out by just repetitively tilling and keeping on it. But I wanted to give you guys an idea of what you can do. We have pulled a lot of food off of here, and I'm telling you, it doesn't cost much. It's just a time-consuming thing. We could be feeding a lot more people than we are, especially our patriot friends out there that need the help. And that's what we're doing here. So you can do it. Just depends on if you want to do it or not. It's all up to you folks. Preparation, security, and knowing that you're got food on the shelves. No matter what happens, you got something to eat. So there you go. That's what we've done so far this summer. And if you look back on some of our other videos from when we first started, it'll give you an idea how far we've come in changing everything about this little chunk of property. This is only 2/3 of an acre. So it makes a difference if you can plan out your areas that you want to use for planting. The best way you can utilize the ground that you got. We also use like sinks for little planters. These are just turn inside out old tires, actually painted white and made into planters. You folks have a great day. If you have any questions, be sure to ask, okay? Hit us up on patrioticspace.com. Come join our garden group there. Bye for now.